Good Saturday morning. I hope you all have had a good couple of weeks. I hope somebody saw the short of my kitty cat losing it on catnip. That was the first time she had catnip, so she went nuts. I had this thought in my head this morning I just felt like I had to talk about, and it's about us women, especially the young girls out there. I want them to start thinking a little smarter, and also to talk about this business with Governor Cuomo in New York. I am not a New York person, but I liked and still like Governor Cuomo. I thought that he was a good man and an old-fashioned man, just like Biden, a family man. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think he's Italian. And that just, it makes him a big family man. And Italian people, I could be stereotyping, but I believe they're pretty friendly too and affectionate. And us Americans really aren't. We aren't touchy feely, And maybe when we came over on the Mayflower and we were still immigrants and new, to the whole world, the whole United States, however you want to put it, the continent. We might have been then because we hadn't worked that out. This is what I want to say to the girls out there. These women who are bringing up indictments against Governor Cuomo, that they didn't like the way he touched them, and he might have just put his hand on their shoulder. He might have done a little bit more. He might have said some things. I always want to ask, so what did you do afterwards? When he did that, what did you do? Did you say to him, I don't like that. Please don't touch me like that. That bugs me. Or, Governor Cuomo, that's not appropriate. Please don't do that. Did you give him a chance to correct himself? To say, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that, that was going to bother you. Now, I'm not sure how far things went with some of them. I don't think it went very far. They say that that he kissed one of the girls, but like he explained, that's just their way of expressing affection or even just greeting someone. And I have to agree that, a man of his age and he maybe, I have to think that maybe he is second generation or something, or first generation American. Then maybe his parents actually came from I'm doing a lot of assuming here. But I just think that you need to actually start being more proactive instead of going and crying on some lawyer's shoulder. I think that what they are doing, the girls are doing, are inappropriate. They need to learn to stand up. Not with a lawyer by their side, but by themselves. They need to know that if they're going to put themselves in a place where things could go wrong, or, like I said, what did you do after he touched your back? What did you do when he said to you, like he said something to one of the girls about that he likes younger women? Well, you know what? He's at that age that, yeah, he probably is going through a midlife crisis like all men do. And, look at, there are a lot of men out there. Well, you look at Hugh Hefner. I think that's his name. The Playboy bunny guy that has a young wife, and he's, God knows how old he is. I myself had a husband that was 16 years older than me. And at first it didn't work out because of our age. But as far as my looking at it as being wrong, some people did, but I still say that, to this day, that he was the love of my life. And I knew from the first time I saw him that I was going to marry him. And we, even after our second divorce, stayed friends. So it's not unheard of for an older man to be interested in a younger woman. Now, with that said, I think Governor Cuomo, probably has a picture now that he can't really touch women, without being scolded or put in a bad light. But let me tell you this. If he didn't say anything to him afterwards, I don't think you have anything to say. You should have said something then to him and gave him the chance to say, I'm sorry, or whatever, or, oh, I won't do that again, or, okay. He may not say much. He may, because he may still not see it as a bad thing. Because let's face it, if he was brought up to not think that those things were bad, he doesn't see it as bad. There are some things in this world that both men and women have to take in order to just, I mean, if you dwell on the little things now, what is going to happen with if something big happens to you? Um, and also, just keep in mind that you can't change other people, especially like the older guys, you know, and especially the older generation, because really what is expected of men these days, I don't think women or the younger men, the younger generation, realize how crazy it is. I'm of a generation that I am like in between. Well, I was born in 64. And I worked in a hospital where I had doctors, you know, kind of hit on me or be crude, or I had, you know, all sorts of things like that happen. But first of all, sometimes, you know, it's kind of nice to know that you're still attractive. I was married at the time. But also, you know, I just brushed it off. I just, you know, I would ignore them and make it, if I didn't like it, I'd make it apparent that I didn't like it. And usually they wouldn't really bother me after that. But I think if I had taken someone like that to court for harassment, it just would have been, for one thing, I think of it as petty. Because eventually something big did happen. It wasn't anything from anyone from my work, but it was someone who, you know, you would think of as being respectable and maybe someone you would have turned to for security. And that I did go to a lawyer to and was shot down. If I had taken it to a lawyer in these days, I imagine I would have, well, I think I would have, they would have at least taken it to trial. my advice to all you young girls out there is it's kind of like what your parents tell you about driving. Drive on the defensive. Drive like everybody else is a bad driver. And they're all making the mistakes. You aren't. Or just be on the lookout, basically. So when you're going through life, when you're taking a run at night, when you're running down to a convenience store, when you're walking to your car after work at night, when you're asked to go to a room or a house of one of your co-workers or your boss, keep in mind, keep it in your head that this could happen. You almost always have to be on the defensive. Don't let yourself be put in a vulnerable state. Be vigilant. And, you know, when they talk about what you wear, well, I think that I hate that. That doesn't matter. But just keep in mind that men are men. And some of them still have a little bit of Neanderthal and you just that's where being aware of the people around you is important. So I guess you could take this as a kind of a mixed message. I'm not a big feminist. You know what? I think if you want to be a housewife, it shouldn't be looked at as a pud thing or an easy thing. It's not. Good Lord, no, it's not. And then also for men, you know, they say that, like, that group, there's a group that want things to go back to how it used to be. Well, I can tell you right now, if you want to go back to how it used to be with women, they didn't used to work all the time. They weren't the ones who were putting the bread on the table. So men are gonna have to step it up. Because I have been around way too many men who would who can't even hold down a job, men who are my age who can't hold down a job, but yet they want to be the big guy, man in the house. No, you can't have it that way. So I have gone way too long, and I know I'm going to lose a few of you guys through this. But this is the ramblings of a crazy woman, and a rambling of a woman who is slowly losing her mind. So be good, be brave, be smart, and stay safe. And may God bless you all, especially those young women out there. Have a good one.